Oh, hello guys, and welcome back to Joe's Adventures, and today we're doing another Prehistoric Kingdom devlog video. We'll have a little recap around it. And this one's for December 2020, so the last one of 2020, devlog 34. So this one's going to be interesting. So let's have a look at devlog 34, December 2020. Welcome to December's development update. We hope everyone has had a happy holiday season and a safe New Year's. Despite the current conditions, we did our best to pull through 2020 as a small studio with the support of our publisher Critivo, our dedicated development team, and of course our fans. We've changed a lot over the past 12 months, so it's time to take a look back at the past, present, and future. Let's have a look at the state of development. Part of our task in December was involving rewriting the camera to provide a greater flexibility when working with modular builds. Instead of simply following the terrain, it now adapts to central orbit points to whenever you're looking around the camera stops moving. By making these changes and adding a toggleable perspective mode, players can finally look upwards and more easily navigate their parks, so that's going to be really helpful. On a different note, our sound implementation pipeline has moved into full swing in addition of custom audio database tools. Implementing sounds from Microraptor and Montosaurus have proven to be relatively simple tasks thanks to Fmod, providing our sound designer and composer Brion enough flexibility to implement dozens of audio events without a difficult workflow. So that works out well. So looks like the sounds are really getting a good, lots of love in there. And Fmod, so you can actually have it like sort of react to situations, and allows it to also be a little bit easier for Brion to work with. So that's awesome. We'll be continuing to expand and improve our sound assets, so stay on the lookout for showcases. So that's going to be cool. And so here we've got our development report. Should we take a look on that? We've got mini exhibits. Those have been really expanded. We'll see more of those soon. Animal behaviors. So a lot of the really moving into like alpha. So that's really cool. We're really starting to get into it. Animal assets. Guest assets, all that animations, that's really working really well. So it's going to be really awesome to see what comes out in the future. Okay, so now we've got development highlights. Mini aviary, the habits of a habitat. So it's time to look at the tiniest of enclosures. In case you missed it, mini exhibits are pre-built structures designed to hold specialized animals that otherwise wouldn't be able to navigate a regular paddock. This is a good look in here. This is obviously Microraptor. A very cool little boy that we actually know the colors of. So this is probably one of the, if not the most accurate dinosaurs in the game right now. Really, really cool looking animal. It's got this iridescent crow-like coloration. And we can see, it just looks wonderful. We've seen it a couple times, but I love seeing this image. You can see them hanging out on the branches there and some enrichment. So we'll get into that soon. So we've got managing welfare as well. Much like regular animals, mini exhibits have welfare needs. This means you'll have to keep food stocked up and the habitats climatized. So it doesn't work too differently from other enclosures. So you need to make sure it's the right habitat. You need to make sure the animals are happy and healthy and enriched. So that was really cool. And then habitat with welfare can further be improved by adding enrichment items like the avian house and avian feeding tower. These actually provide your Microraptor with new positions and animations inside the mini exhibit, making them more than just simple decorations. So that's pretty cool. I like that a lot. So now we can have like a little boy sleeping. Look at the little one sleeping there. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that cute? One sleeping there. One sitting on the top of the feeder. And one sitting and eating the feeder. I think that's very cute. Isn't that adorable seeing them sleep? I think it's cute. Very cool little guys. So changing the landscape. For our creativity-driven players, we understand the desire to add your own personal flourishes to a mini exhibit. When first placed, an aviary is completely empty, leaving just the basic trees inside. So that's tied to the animation, so it's kind of just basic. Obviously, the animals wouldn't be too happy about this, but it's a great starting point for creations in sandbox mode and with welfare disabled. Inside the building interface, there are 3 environmental options available. Tropical rainforest, you can see that one here. This one looks like tropical rainforest. I really like this one. This would probably go well for obviously a lot of tropical animals. Microraptor would probably be good in this one as well. Or temperate forest works just as well, I think. So I assume this one's tropical. Oh, this one's tropical. This one is coastal desert, and this one is temperate because it's got bamboo. It looks like that one looks more temperate. So all of these work quite well. I imagine there might be some different species prefer one environment over another, influencing their based on current choices. So I imagine there's a mix. I assume from what we see in this one, I assume that Microraptor likes these temperate ones more, but I think that still looks quite nice. It'd be cool if they even add more in the future as more mini exhibit animals exist and come into the fray. So players who wish to build their own housing can set the mini exhibit to a hidden state, hiding the exterior shell. So that's pretty cool. So you can like design your own. Since the modular building's so cool, you can design your own aviary around the enclosure. So in the same menu, colors for custom lighting can be adjusted too. So you can see here, this is the exterior shell, and you see the Microraptors hanging out there. It's kind of weird that you see them even though they're just hanging out there without an aviary, but you could probably build one using the modular tools as well. And you can change the lighting in there as well. That's pretty cool. So yeah, the Microraptor is just such a cool addition. I can't wait to see what other mini animals we get, because they're just so cool. And we can see these wonderful little additions here. Little avian housing. I just love that little guy. He's so cute. He's sleeping, and then this guy's eating. So Microraptor is a really cool addition. I love Microraptor. And now we got progression, unlocking animals. As mentioned in a live stream last October, we've made changes to the design of our progression system. Though the mechanics won't be implemented until a later date, here's some details regarding fossil formations and unique currency. So we've got science points. So science points are a resource earned from exhibits or by breeding new animals. These points can be spent exclusively on research items or excavations. By creating a second currency used for progression, it allows us to better reward players for creating and managing their parks effectively, rather than just simply stacking on cash. So that's a really good way to try and encourage the players to not just make a farm. So that's pretty cool. Okay, excavations. To get some new species for our park, we need to visit the excavations menu. Excavations take place in fossil formations around the world, granting access to a diverse range of extinct animals. So we can see Mesozoic and Cenozoic there. This is like the concept art. So this is obviously based along America. This is Hell Creek. We can see some here. So assuming there'll be some all around the world as DLC comes around, there's different areas. There'll be some here, and everywhere. Especially with more animals coming around. For this map, we can unlock dig sites with money as long as they've met the required park rating. The tooltip panel shows that your total progression in a given formation with a dietary icon to provide more context to players who aren't familiar with the animal's name. So if it's a herbivore or carnivore or a frutivore or whatever other things it eats, omnivore, just gives you a quick lowdown on what to expect. So obviously we all know Tyrannosaurus is a carnivore. And all the different skins here, which is pretty cool. So UI, that's the UI, unlocking animals. With a dig site unlocked, players are able to instantly purchase any animal with science points, no additional waiting required. The more you purchase genetic skins for single species, the cheaper they'll become, incentivizing players to fully complete a formation. So encouraging players to completely max out a formation really gives you a nice benefit. So the more you kind of try to complete it, the cheaper it'll become. So, and this is also a very good reason because it looks like skin diversity is going to be very important. So we can see here, this is the skins for Hell Creek. So we can see the Tarbosaurus is obviously going to be in Asia. So that skin's not going to be featured in Hell Creek. And same with Edmontosaurus. This Eonectins is the only one known from Hell Creek. I believe Crupenalis is going to be in the Alaskan Formation, and the Regalis is going to be in Dinosaur Park, or one of those, or Horseshoe Canyon. Either one of those. Those are kind of similar formations. But yeah, this is what you expect from Hell Creek. And you can see there's one skin here. And since Triceratops is only found in Hell Creek, all 4 skins are present here with both old species. And then we have, okay, so some animals like Montosaurus or Tyrannosaurus have alternate species scattered around the world, so we're just having a good look at maximizing guest satisfaction. So have a good look around, so not all species are in the same formation, not all skins. Tarbosaurus will be in Asia, as I mentioned. And as this new system emphasizes player agency, we'll no longer lump formations nor include a randomized fossil market. By removing some of the RNG and wait times present in past titles, we hope to focus our player-driven progression to keep the experience of expanding your park fresh. So it's not going to be kind of like waiting around like JPOG or JWE. So it's really innovative, and I think it's going to be cool to have a playthrough and see how it plays. So I'm really excited. So we can see a wonderful progression there. I just like fussing over the mini exhibits. They're great. So yeah, there's a lot of great stuff coming here too. And then we got Foliage Showcase. Scrubland, Temperate, and Wetland received a handful of flora each in December. Though they're not scheduled for full completion quite yet, we wanted to get a few representatives into Scrubland and Temperate to complete the mini aviary. Here's a quick snapshot of how these biomes are progressing. So this looks like Scrubland. Look at that. Got these nice palm trees. They look really nice. See some more Temperate. You see birch trees and all that. It's bamboo. See little flower pot. I think that's cute. Little flower pot so you can decorate your gardens around. I know a lot of people like. I think there's this Planet Zoo YouTuber that does like botanical gardens. I reckon he'd like this a lot. You can make like little botanical gardens within your zoo because a lot of zoos kind of have that. You could probably make your own botanical garden within Prehistoric Kingdom if you like. With the plant selection, and this looks like a very much wetland, like a wetland tree. You can see the vines hanging off it. That was really nice. And that looks great. So we've got reworked plants. So between entirely new plant species are improvements on older ones that could have been made more efficiently for better visuals and performance. More efficiently, actually. This is especially prevalent in the new coconut palms, losing their cartooning look and something more within the realm of realism. So that's kind of been like with the general shift of Prehistoric Kingdom. It used to be a lot more stylized. Now it's a lot more realistic with upgrades and obviously skill and budget and quality. So it's really been helping. So the tropical biome receives its aforementioned palms, Salmonella and Scalavola, while the coastal biomes get snow, tree, ferns, and Scots pines. So we can see that here. This looks really nice. We can see that palm tree leaning to the side. Little palms over here as well. That looks really nice. It looks something out of like the Cook Islands or something. I really love those kind of islands. And we've got our next one here. Some nice pines and stuff. And look, we've got Brumal here. Now that's a wonderful Rex. How can you not love that T-Rex? It really looks great. And we can see it. See, that looks straight out of the late Cretaceous, doesn't it? It looks like it's straight out of Hell Creek. It looks wonderful with all the tree ferns. I just love how like dense the forest feels and looks. It looks amazing. It's really great. And then we got Animal Showcase. It's fluffy, but it's not a mammal. It's P. pectorum, a highly speculative old species of Pachyrhinosaurus. So we can see here, this really shows off the fur shader. I really like that. Look how wonderful the fur shader looks. It still looks great. And we can see that this is a very, very fluffy Pachyrhinosaurus, which is very speculative, but very, very cool looking design. So even acknowledge that, and we can see here the reveal image. We've got Pachy eating there. So the kind of inspiration for that is that we have these animals from colder areas, like Canada, which even in the Cretaceous would have got to around freezing. Like, it wouldn't be comparable to today in a lot of places, but there would be still ice caps, potentially some glaciers, and it would have got below freezing, at least during the winter. So it wasn't quite as intense as today, but there were still cold. It's not insanely tropical like we typically envision the Mesozoic as. So a lot of the speculation that went into it was woolly mammoth, obviously. These guys, since Psittacosaurus and these other ornithischians that have feathers, so they thought, okay, what if Pachyrhinosaurus had feathers? And that helped and kind of created this look of a woolly Pachyrhinosaurus, which honestly I think it's a very cool look. It's probably not the most realistic, considering how not only is it larger size. It's not necessarily as cold as animals like the woolly mammoth, which is obviously a clear analog. It didn't get near that cold in the Cretaceous in a lot of places, or even at all, really. Um, and reptiles just holding fat and being a lot more differently built than mammals. It's kind of not the best comparison, but it's very speculative. But I think it's very, very cool. It's a really nice design either way, and I think they really did a good job with it. And I really like the boss. I, honestly, the alt species for Paki used to be the worst, but now they're like some of the best. I really like all the differences. They really just look wonderful. I'm really excited to get my hands on it. So yeah, not the most likely, but still a very nice design nonetheless. I just thought I'd give you a lowdown on the science. And those and they even mention it here. Though it isn't likely that it would have occurred in the real world, it's a very unique look that was too cool to pass up. It's not every day you see a relative Triceratops decorated in a fluffy overcoat. So yeah, it's probably not the most likely thing, still a cool design, and if you're personally not a fan of it, you can have two other skins, and I imagine one of the first mods is going to be making a not fluffy Paractorum. So there's two other old species that are scaly, so just imagine you're not losing too much. I just think still it's so cool. I really like that look. Okay, so now we've got the news roundup. So our year in review. 2020 was a lot for everyone. It was a very difficult year. Our team has managed to grow into a family of 15 members. Edson, Max, Elizabeth, Seth, Siaka, and our newest member, Lindsay, each brings something new to the table. Changing from Shadow Raven Studios to Blue Meridian, we have continued to strive for something greater. Working and collaborating with Nigel Marvin was an absolute dream for us, and we'll keep looking to keep developing that relationship. So that'll be really cool. I'm really excited to see more of Nigel Marvin if he manages to get into the game somehow. He's a very, very cool individual and very nice. And really appreciate him doing that trailer. That was just really added so much to it. The sheer amount of new fans and wish lists we see every day continues to blow our minds as we work on our passion project with your support. It means a lot to us, and we can only hope to push forwards into 2021 together. So yeah, the thing is, it's been a passion project forever. Like, I remember back when I first got involved, like, Prehistoric Kingdom was probably like 2013, 14, around there, and it's still been going strong since then. It's obviously been not developed that hard because it didn't have the support. But then with the Kickstarter coming out, and then the support from Critivo, which has made the game expand its scope so much more, they've really done a good job of trying to bring this game to reality. So preparing to ship our first title in a few months after so many iterations is a little scary, but we know you'll be there on the other side, giving us honest feedback to make a kick-ass game. Yeah, that's going to be sick. It's going to be great. So it's very awesome to get the community involved, because this game wouldn't be a thing without the community. Because basically, I think what really jumpstarted the game was the Kickstarter that managed to get Critivo noticing. So I think that's really awesome, and I'm really, really excited to get my hands on this game as well. It should be coming out around. They'll explain a little bit more on the dates, but it should be coming around Q2 of this year. So that'll be very, very awesome. And here we have a nice picture of, this is April 2020 versus December 2020. It'd be cool if they had like a similar shot, like if they had the Argentinosaurus in the same pose to directly compare, but we can see even just within 6 months or so the improvements since there. It just looks incredible, wonderful. The plant life is just growing. It's so great. It's really awesome. It's realistic now. It's like the game that everyone wants. Okay, so alpha and release information. So this is important. As of this development update, aiming to release at the end of Q1 of this year, the alpha. We're releasing the alpha of Q1 of this year. Highest tier backers and select testers will be able to get their hands on early versions of the build in February, with closed alpha releasing following soon thereafter. So it shouldn't be. So this kind of closed alpha release there's going to be a build for these select testers and these really high backers, or the VIPs that are in the Discord. So they'll get the first access to this little build. I'm not sure they'll be allowed to share it, but there'll be some testers as well. So we make sure that everyone gets it, and then they'll get their hands on this, and then there'll be a closed alpha that will be released soon after, that came with obviously the Kickstarter or the Creativo backings. In terms of our general release timeline, beta is expected to happen in Q2 ahead of the game's release in early access. Depending on community feedback during the beta, you might choose to push things back by a few weeks so that new players can get a more optimal experience. But that's obviously not something we can say for certain yet. Until there's more information, assume it's the end of Q2 of early access release. So there might be some changes if the betas may be a little bit more shoddy, or they want to put a little bit more time in to make it look a little better and give a better experience. They might put it off a bit, which is within their right, and that's completely fair. They just want to give people the best experience. And it looks like you won't be waiting too long anyway. It will be a maximum a few weeks. So unless they announce a change, expect the early access release to come out of end of Q2, so that'd probably be about June. But yeah, that's not hard and fast. It's very likely to change, so just make sure to keep your eyes on development and such, and you'll get notified, of course. So, looking at early access launch features, the only thing that's changed since we last spoke about it was the uncertainty of staff management. As developers, we've been more comfortable moving them to a dedicated content update where will be the focus instead of a single bare-bones staff member at launch. But we always love to hear your thoughts. So if you want to have an opinion about that, you can go to the Discord or whatever. That's all for now, but we have more alpha and release information available in the next development update, so that should be next time. So yeah, expect the alpha, if you guys got the update, that should be around Q2. That's for the beta, or the alpha a little bit more before then. So like February, March, April. So that should be around where the closed alpha is released, and then it'll be the closed beta around Q2, and very likely the early access release will be the very end of Q2, should it be late June, or potentially if there is an announcement, it might come a little bit later than that, but generally that should be a good thing to expect. So then we can have a look at our community spotlight. So there's a really nice sketch of the feathered Pachyrhinosaurus, and I think that looks great. Dino Art, you did a good job. And I love the perspective of this one. You can see the Allosaurus and the Stegosaurus. Yeah, I really like the perspective. It's like you're looking at it. Not sure that'd be a good idea in real life, or not in real life, or in the game, because obviously having herbivores and carnivores that can kill and eat each other is probably not going to be great for their welfare. So, probably not the best. And then here's a Dino DJ. I love his art. He's got such a cute guy. And then he's opened a little present. It's Crowny. And our wonderful new fluffy Packy, which looks great. So, okay, so thank you for reading December's devlog. It was a hell of a year, and we can't wait to push onwards into 2021. We eagerly await feedback during our time in alpha, and will work to add more content over the coming months. Until next time, the PK team. So that's going to be awesome, and there's always wish list them on Steam and sign up to the Creativos newsletter, and then also all the different social medias that you can contact and look at for updates and stuff like that. So yeah, I really, really, really hope you guys enjoyed this recap. I hope you guys like and subscribe, and always, always, always remember to click that little bell icon at the bottom there so you get notified whenever I upload anything. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You guys like and subscribe, and bye-bye.